Part 5. With this article, we propose to conclude our exposition, though we may resume the discussion in polemic with comrades who have commented on our point of view in other newspapers. The discussion has now been taken up by the whole of the socialist press. The best articles we have come across are those by C. Nicolini in Avanti. These articles were written with great clarity and in line with genuine Marxist principles. We fully concur with them. The Soviets, the councils of workers, peasants and soldiers, are the form adopted by the representative system of the proletariat, in its exercise of power after the smashing of the capitalist state. Prior to the conquest of power, when the bourgeoisie is still politically dominant, it can happen that special historical conditions, probably corresponding to serious convulsions in the institutional arrangements of the state and society, bring Soviets into existence, and it can be very appropriate for communists to facilitate and stimulate the birth of these new organs of the proletariat. We must, however, be quite clear that their formation in this manner cannot be an artificial procedure, the mere application of a recipe, and that in any case, the simple establishment of workers' councils as the form of the proletarian revolution does not imply that the problem of the revolution is resolved, nor that the infallible conditions have been laid out for its success. The revolution may not occur even when councils exist. We shall cite examples. If these are not infused with a political and historical consciousness of the proletariat, a consciousness which is condensed, one might almost say, in the Communist political party. The fundamental problem of the revolution thus lies in gauging the proletariat's determination to smash the bourgeois state and take power into its own hands. Such a determination on the part of the broad masses of the working class exists as a direct result of the economic relations of exploitation by capital. It is these which place the proletariat in an intolerable situation and drive it to smash the existing social reforms. The task of the communists, then, is to direct this violent reaction on the part of the masses and give it greater efficiency. The communists, as the manifesto said long ago, have a superior knowledge of the conditions of the class struggle and the proletariat's emancipation than the proletariat itself. The critique they make of history and of the constitution of society places them in a position to make fairly accurate predictions concerning the developments of the revolutionary process. It is for this reason that communists form the class's political party, which sets itself the task of unifying the proletarian forces and organizing the proletariat into the dominant class through the revolutionary conquest of power. When the revolution is imminent and its preconditions have matured in the real world, a powerful communist party must exist, and its consciousness of the events which lie ahead must be particularly acute. As regards the revolutionary organs which will exercise proletarian power and represent the foundations of the revolutionary state on the morrow of the collapse of the bourgeoisie, their consciousness of their role will depend on the extent to which they are led by workers who are conscious of the need for a dictatorship of their own class, that is, communist workers. Wherever this is not the case, these organs will concede the power they have won and the counter-revolution will triumph. Thus, if at any given moment these organs are required, and communists need to concern themselves with setting them up, it should not therefore be thought that in them we have a means of readily outflanking the bourgeoisie, and almost automatically overcoming its resistance to the ceding of power. Can the Soviets, the state organs of victorious proletariat, play a role as organs of revolutionary struggle for the proletariat whilst capitalism still controls the state? The answer is yes. In the sense, however, that at any given stage they may constitute the right terrain for the revolutionary struggle that the party is waging, and at that particular stage the party has to fashion such a terrain, such a grouping of forces, for itself. Today, in Italy, have we reached this stage of struggle? We feel that we are very close to it, but there is one more stage to go through. The Communist Party, which is to work within the Soviets, does not yet exist. We are not saying that the Soviets will wait for it before they emerge. It could happen that events occur differently. But then we will run this grave risk, that the immaturity of the party will allow these organs to fall into the hands of the reformists, the accomplices of the bourgeoisie, the saboteurs and falsifiers of the revolution. And so we feel that the problem of forging a genuine communist party in Italy is much more urgent than the problem of creating Soviets. To study both problems and establish the optimal conditions in which to tackle both without delay, this too is acceptable, but without setting fixed and schematic dates for an almost official inauguration of Soviets in Italy. To accomplish the formation of the genuine Communist Party means sorting out the communists from the reformists and social democrats. Some comrades believe that the very proposal to set up Soviets would also facilitate this sorting out process. We do not agree, for the very reason that the Soviet, in our view, is not in its essence a revolutionary organ. In any case, if the rise of Soviets is to be the source of political clarification, we fail to see how this may be accomplished on the basis of an understanding, as is the Bombachi proposal, between reformists, maximalists, syndicalists, and anarchists. On the contrary, the forging of a sound and healthy revolutionary movement in Italy will never be accomplished by advancing new organs modelled on future forms, like factory councils or Soviets, just as it was an illusion to believe that the revolutionary spirit could be salvaged from reformism by importing it into the unions, seen as the nucleus of the future society. We will not effect the sorting out process through a new recipe, which will frighten no one, but by abandoning once and for all the old recipes, the pernicious and fatal methods of the past. For well-known reasons, we feel that if a method has to be abandoned and expelled along with non-communists from our ranks, then it should be the electoral method, and we see no other route to the setting up of a communist party that is worthy to affiliate to Moscow. Let us work towards this goal, beginning, as Niccolini puts so well, with the elaboration of a consciousness, a political culture, in the leaders, through a more serious study of the problems of the revolution, with fewer distractions from spurious electoral, parliamentary, and minimalist activities. Let us work towards this goal. Let us issue more propaganda concerning the conquest of power, to build awareness of what the revolution will be, what its organs will be, how the Soviets will really function. Then we can say we have done truly valuable work towards establishing the councils of the proletariat, and winning within them the revolutionary dictatorship that will open up the radiant road to communism.